So the Democrats are doing exactly what I unfortunately expected them to do, which is cave in to Republicans. Because that's all Democrats know how to do for my entire lifetime, is sit around and watch as Republicans destroy this country. I need people to understand that it's taken two, both parties, to get us here. We've been going in mostly the wrong direction for the last 50 years in this country. And yes, Republicans are worse than Democrats, but if both of the two parties that you have to choose from keep getting worse and worse and more corrupt over time, you can keep voting for the lesser of two evils, but eventually it's all headed towards the same end, which is billionaires and corporations getting massively richer and the rest of us getting poorer and doing worse. We needed this shutdown. We needed them to fight to shut down the government for an entire year if necessary. We needed something big to wake people up and make them realize that their country is being stolen from them before it's too late. But no, instead we will return to the slow, steady decay which we have now become accustomed to. Think about it like this. There's a robber in a bank, robbing a bank, and there's a cop sitting outside on a bench watching it happen, doing nothing to stop it. The robber runs out of the bank with the money, and the cop just waves as he runs by. So, who's responsible for robbing the bank? Well, obviously the robber is responsible for committing the crime, but the police officer has to take some sort of responsibility for not doing his job. And guess what? In this case, the entire police department has a deal with the thieves, and they're getting kickbacks from the robberies. Now, it's not a perfect analogy by any means, but it illustrates the point that I'm trying to make. Corrupt Democrat establishment leaders like Chuck Schumer, Hakeem Jeffries, and Nancy Pelosi don't care about you and me any more than Republicans do. What they really care about is their careers, their wealth, their power, and their prestige. And they are very much convinced that the best way to hang on to that power and prestige is to get as much money from billionaires and corporations as possible. And the truth is that those billionaires and corporations want the Democrats to cave in and let the Republicans rob us all blind for their benefit. Corruption is the root cause of all our problems in this country. It has pushed both parties to serve only their donors instead of the constituents they're supposed to represent. The only way to fix this country is to get money out of politics and stop supporting politicians who take billionaire and corporate money. Corrupt politicians like Chuck Schumer have been in charge of the Democratic Party for decades now, and look where we are. If they had been doing their job from the beginning, we wouldn't be in this mess. We never would have had Trump at all. We need a massive overhaul of the Democratic Party, and we need to stop voting for politicians who are openly corrupt. And yeah, that includes Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, Hillary Clinton, and even Barack Obama. The most important thing you can know about any politician is who is funding their campaign. Just look at the few politicians we have who actually aren't corrupt, like Bernie Sanders, AOC, and Zoran. The difference is night and day. They fight, they actually work to serve the people who elected them. We need more people like them, and we need to understand that simply voting blue, no matter who, is not going to be near good enough to get us out of this mess. In fact, it's what got us here in the first place.